Hello, everyone. This is going to be a very different chapter of the chaotic multiverse. I really didn't know how else to do this. These will just be a series of images, screenshots from my very first experience on Ark, the Ark Chronology Flashback. I didn't feel like my Ark Chronology playlist was complete without my very first Ark Adventure. So this is what I can do is put together a series of images, screenshots from my very first time back in 2020 playing Ark for the first time. This would be Chaos Knight's very first adventures on the island, the first island. Dilo the Dilly was the first tame I ever made completely in the saga. Brontos became an issue around the base, not because they're a threat, but I started putting spikes up to protect myself from Sarcos that spawn in that river, but the Brontos would get spiked by it and get aggroed on my base, which was a real problem. The Carbonemus was, I believe, my second team. The first Dilly died at some point, and I just remember I need more of a tank creature, and turtles are pretty good defense earlier on. Parasaur, this right here, was actually my first Parasaur named after my grandmother. God rest her soul. I love you, Grandma. I miss you. And finally tamed a Pteranodon at some point. That was my first bird, little flying reptile. I love that Pteranodon. I still think of my first experience flying the easiest. But yeah, that's my squad right there. The first four right there. Yeah, it's a good one. I remember flying around the island with the Pteranodon. I named all my Pteranodons after a certain, character, like Archimedes, and I forgot. I have a list somewhere in one of my notebooks of all the names from the creatures I have tamed. And then, sadly enough, that my first Parasaur was killed. Luckily, the Ark Mobile Edition gives you Ancient Amber that you can use to revive dead tames, which I wish was included in the Council Edition, but that's the thing that killed it. The Calicoserium created a war at base, I'll just say that. And that was my first time trying to tame an Oviraptor, but I didn't have any eggs or kibble, so I didn't get the Oviraptor. I ended up killing it for food. And that's just a nice shot looking at the sunset on my balcony. I tried to recapture my old base on the Ark Mobile on the Xbox. I've said this story before, but it's impossible because the terrain is different from the mobile to the Xbox console. But there's another shot on the second floor. I started expanding the base upwards with another level, and that's where I basically moved all the Pteranodons, get a little more room on the other level. I wish I had taken more screenshots. In hindsight, retrospect, I could have taken a lot more different snapshots here and there, different areas of the base. Wasn't really able to capture all the different layers and stuff. Like, it actually goes in and out from the main barn right there that's attached to the house. It's hard to say because I don't have those screenshots anymore. I really wish I did. But that's my first raptor that I tamed. The previous one was the first beaver I ever tamed. I emulated the gold booties to pay respects to Poet Plays. Those are my other two raptor squads, and there they are right there. Old Lace, Blue, and I believe that was Delta. It's a nice shot at night while I'm sitting at the campfire. This was the era when I found out you can paint like walls and different things. Then started creating like a dino enclosure to the right side of my base, and that's where I started putting all the Stegos and Trikes and Sarcos that I had tamed. It's a good shot of Blue right there with her pack. A Dimorphodon, one of the first. I've never been able to tame a Dimorphodon since that time. There's all the Pteranodons all up in the nest right there. That's a good shot. And that was an Alpha Raptor that was stalking my outpost. And this was when I further expanded out to the north, tamed my first two T-Rexes ever, and finally got RGs, Doedicurus, Sabertooths. I knocked both those Sabertooths out at once, which was incredible. I got very lucky. And as you can see, my Archie's right there. I forgot their names. It's been such a long time. And then finally, across the river, going back to the south outpost, I came across a Titanosaur, which was epic. I'm surprised it didn't crash my game. Then I finally got a Spino at some point down the road, a Therizinosaurus. That's the first tickle chicken I ever had. And as you can see, Packy and the first Pelagornis that I had tamed that I eventually tamed again later. There's the Raptor pack. It grew. And that's the original base. Right back to the South Isles, the safer area. But that river that you saw earlier heads to like Baryonyx and Spinal Country. But yeah, this about closes it. Thank you everyone for watching.